So then it comes down to whether Hugo Keenan's fit. I think you need to have Ciaran Frawley in the 23. He opens the door for the 6-2 split. So and I don't see Ringrose displacing Robbie Henshaw at 13. So I think if Keenan's fit, then it's Frawley in the number 23 shirt. And if Keenan doesn't make it, then it's Frawley in the 23 shirt, and then Ringrose will come in for Stuart McCluskey on the bench. That's my read of it as it stands. I think they were going to give Keenan until today's training session, which is the heaviest training session of the week, to make sure of it. The one thing about a 6-2 is if there's any doubt about Hugo Keenan, they probably can't select him. Same with Gary Ringrose 2 weeks ago. I think they could have played Gary Ringrose against Wales, but because he was just back from a shoulder injury and he'd only got a couple of days worth of training in, they decided to hold off for 2 weeks. So I would say Frawley's going to start. They'll give Keenan another week to get to Scotland, and they'll embrace that. Farrell will talk about adversity and how Ciaran Frawley went against Wales and how comfortable he is, but it's a massively different challenge. If England go to the air, I thought Ireland brought him into the front line a lot in defence. I think Crowley was hanging out in the backfield a little bit more, so they almost went, right, this guy plays centre a lot, why not make him tackle and get Crowley? They were quite clever about it against Wales, and Gatlin talked about targeting him, but when they tried to target him, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I think they were quite smart strategically about it. But England will go to the air. I don't know. Chris can tell us whether Stewart's going to be, probably going to be involved or not. But like, they have really good aerial weapons, and they do kick the ball a hell of a lot. So it'll be a great test for them.
I thought Wales were going to do that because they would have watched, say, Ulster and Leinster at Christmas, where Ulster utilised Billy Byrne's kicking game very well and put pressure on Frawley, and yet their kicking was fairly ineffective.
Yeah, no, it was, and maybe that's a sign that that Sam Costello isn't just the experienced player that even a Billy Burns would be, and certainly George Ford would have the strategic kicking game to spot that space in the backfield and manipulate Ireland's backfield. Ireland will use James Lowe to kick for position, but this system, South Africa have kind of a Cheslin Colby and a Curtly Arenza on the wing. Ireland, Nash has that kind of nippiness, whereas James Lowe is slow to turn at times, so that England will manipulate that backfield. Frawley doesn't have Hugo Keenan's engine, so in terms of covering coast to coast, they'll try and test out whether he can get there. So there is definitely scope for England to ask way more questions of an Irish back three than Wales did, and to kick on their own terms, to put up contestables, to try and make Frawley, Nash, Lowe win balls in the air. And if they don't, like England, as we saw in France at the World Cup, they will draw strength from that and get field position, and whether it's knocking over a drop goal or earning penalties, that's the path for England to win this game.